Y'all know I'm so silly, child. Now, I've been up by myself all morning for a long time. Just for the record. No, 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 no. Okay, no. Just for the record. Hold on. Where's the beef? It's cooked. Um, hey, y'all. Welcome to my party. Pull up. Um, and drop your comments in my comment section. Okay, so listen to this real quick. Like I, like I was trying to tell y'all. Okay, so first of all, I put my hair in the best, probably not the best, but I definitely don't know how to cornrow. But lately, I've been taking a swing at it. I only do two at a time, but I think I might have did four before. But child, it's not really done. Yeah, no, truth is, it's not really done. But I did the best cornrows I can do. Hold on. Shebang. I like that. I like that. But I can honestly say now, I'm kind of guilty of some now. Well. Y'all hold on, because I'm got a lot going on. I'm trying to make our kids something, a little something for breakfast. I know it's not funny, but we don't have a lot of. Shut up. Shut up. Y'all know what? Do y'all be having cravings? me know. Like our cravings. Take my food out. I'm gonna do a little surfing. Listen, I called. Hold on. Do y'all be having cravings? Like, are cravings like a thing that everybody, like, is that like a normal thing for everybody or not? I think so, right? I don't know though. I could be wrong. Yeah, no, truth is, I just could be wrong. Hey y'all. Hey. Excuse me, it's your girl Shay Renee. And I'm back. Now, before I officially get my party started, tell me why I was not coming live today. I wasn't. I was gonna take the day off, but you know what? I'm actually going to save that for a day when I really need the day off. You know, it just is what it is. You know, I'm a content creator / streamer. Okay, on YouTube. I like to consider myself a streamer sometimes. Uh, some days. And like so, like yeah, it just is what it is. That is what streaming is about. Uh, child, you want the truth? Streaming is really like wow. Honestly, it's about whatever you want it to be about. How about that? But I was like, no, because, you know, I don't necessarily have much going on for the day. And then the stuff that I do have going on is just constantly rotating around my mind and my brain and stuff like that. And I don't want to do my day like that. It is what it is. I might as well stream. Okay. Period. Because I'm a streamer. So shout out to that. Now, I will say another blessing, though. I'm about to wash up my dishes real quick while I stream with y'all. Now, another blessing that does come with streaming, though. Bless you, baby. Another blessing that comes with streaming, though, is like, it's like, hold on. It's the fact that I get to, I get to do follow-up shows to my podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's like a follow-up show to my podcast at times because listen to this, y'all. Yesterday, y'all know we was talking, you know, the happenings going on the internet. Hold on. I said, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. So listen to this. Yesterday, I was telling y'all. Before, child, I got so much shit going on in my mind that don't make no sense. Uh, for real. So I just took my dinner out, and that's what I was trying to tell y'all. Like, anything that has two meats, I be considering a certain type. And I don't know. I like um. Sometimes I like having, the options. I like that. And like, you know, when I go out to eat a lot, when I go out to eat a lot of times, hold on, wait, okay. No, hold on. Okay, I gotta talk to my son about the mess he made. But anyway, y'all, listen to this. Oh, when I go out to eat, I like to get two meats. So, I don't know. I be doing it at home sometimes too when I cook. So anyway, shout out to that. Now, back to what I was trying to tell y'all. I love the streaming thing. I love it for different reasons, but the main reason is, I feel like I get to let my hair down, so to speak. Truth is because, commentary is commentary, and sometimes I'm not speaking for nobody else. I'm speaking for myself. My commentary can really be like kind of on the serious side. It really can. And so, y'all know when I stream with y'all, it's just the opportunity to like. Just not be so serious, It is what it is. So, shout out to that. And it's the opportunity to, like, we get to know each other on a more personal level. Now, speaking of personal, O'Shea, I just told y'all, I ain't never met a Shay that really didn't have something to say. So shout out to that. Ice Cube son, O'Shea, just sent a real cute message out there, and I loved it. Shout out to him and shout out to that. He basically was saying, because I guess people were trying to get on him, for not letting them know that he had a kid. And, that's crazy. And it's also funny how people be wanting every single detail, of your life, our lives, people's lives, which can be crazy sometimes. But he shared a cute little message, and I said, I felt that 100% because, that's how I am in my day-to-day life. And he basically was saying that you don't have to share who you love with people that don't love you. And I felt that 100% because y'all know how I am. That's why y'all know how I am. Honestly and truthfully, hell, for real. If I'm being real, I feel like it's a privilege to know me. You know what I'm saying? In itself. That's crazy. So you want me to introduce you to everybody else? the extended versions of me, so to speak. That's crazy, right? It's like, oh my God, you just want too much. That's how I feel about it, personally. Um, and so, like, I felt his little message, it is what it is. Now, I did have a time when I was, like others, and I felt like sharing some of my best times, during my best life with social media. But that's not necessarily a thing for me anymore. And it wasn't hard for me to stop, honestly, uh, because I don't really, I'm not a big sharer anyway. Let's start there. Uh, so that's that. And then not to mention, I hit the like button. Not to mention, once I really, really decided that I was gonna do, I wanted to, I'm sorry, but seriously, once I realized that I wanted to do content creating for real, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back from sharing my family online. It just is what it is. I'm not big on that. If you are, then that's you. That's your thing. I'm not mad at it. But we all gotta live for ourselves, right? So it is what it is. That's just, yeah. I'd rather not. And I'll take it a step further. I'd rather not for different reasons too. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, kind of like, you want the truth? Shy, you gotta be able to handle it over here with me. So shout out to that. But for real, I also want to take it a step further. Like when you up here grinding and you doing your thing and you in the gym shooting around like Drake said, it's kind of weird for, anybody to feel like, oh, I'm gonna start hanging with her to, whatever. And that's kind of what I was telling y'all the other day, just recently when I hold on, y'all. Sometimes I literally be having to zip it. You know what I'm saying? Just for a minute. Sorry, what I gotta do. But anyway. Like I was trying to tell y'all briefly, just recently when I was talking to y'all about the Nicki Minaj fan, but I don't know if I necessarily touched on it like that. But I meant to tell y'all, I'm thinking about something funny to me. I meant to tell y'all, like, I kind of feel Nicki. You know what I'm saying? In a sense. Because it's like, man, gone. Shit. And I'm talking about as far as, like, her not allegedly, because I can't, seemingly being so, not so welcoming to her little sister being in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not mad at it. Like, it's, I, I feel that. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent. Now, her reasonings, Nikki would have to tell us what her reasonings are. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like one of them could damn sure possibly be like, you know, like, I worked for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I worked for this. This is my job. You know what I'm saying? So to speak. You know, this is something that I worked hard for. Like, it's weird. You know what I'm saying? In other words, how many other people do you see that are like, that like put their family on in the industry? Not many, okay? Christina's gone. That's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it's not a thing like that. Like, I started even thinking about, listen, I started thinking about a lot of people. Like, for instance, Cardi B. Cardi B is a good example because we all know that Cardi B and her sister have a good relationship. But at the same time, do we see what's her name? I mean, yeah. Do we see Miss Hennessy out here trying to be a star, a star, a star, a star, a star, a star? While Tasha was a star. You know, no. I don't think so, baby. So maybe that's why Barilla had to. That's not funny. But for real, I would assume that's why Barilla had, okay, to do what she did. Not, she didn't have to, but I mean, that's how I want to phrase it. Because basically, shoot, she had to watch her sister be up on the big screen, you know what I'm saying, and leave her behind. See, it's, honestly, I think it's one thing when your siblings boost you when they be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm happy for you, I love you, and that's just that. That's your thing. You know, it's a difference when they be like, oh, I want to do it too, you know. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, man, it's like Smokey said, you ain't put in on this, man. You know, like it's a difference, you know, it's a huge difference, you know. Like, we'll have to sit down and talk about that, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And for me, me myself personally, it just damn sure will be weird, you know what I'm saying? Because it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. For me, it would be weird because ain't nobody been around like that. Does that make sense? Yeah, nah, let's talk about it. Like, you know, like, I can't explain it, but I didn't grow up with, I didn't grow up with, you know, like a Chloe, you know what I'm saying? Halle situation. You see what I'm saying? See, like in that situation, they came up together. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, to me, it ain't no reason to be, you know, feel no type of way because they came up together. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, truthfully, I do think it would. I think it's hella weird. Uh, I think it would be hella weird for like, you know, somebody to just come out and start trying to like, I'm attached to such and such. That's weird to me, you know? And I'm just speaking for myself, y'all. I'm not speaking for nobody else. So shout out to that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a difference. It's a huge difference. You know what I'm saying? Because like as a content creator, like we know the grind and the grit of it all. So I just feel like it would be weird for somebody to be talking about some, yeah, I'm such and such attached to such and such. Like for me, this is personally that's weird. Like nah, you could have you could have been tried to attach yourself to me. You know, we could have been tried to link. You could have been told me that you know you wanted a little something different for yourself. You know. But I promise you, if you just look around, I don't think that, you know, I'm the only one that feels like that. Because just think about it. I mean, how many people do you see? It's not that many. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, the Cuban brothers, the Gooden brothers, I'm sorry, Cuba Gooden. And his brother, I can't think of his brother, but shout out to his brother. You know, I was listening to an interview that his brother did one day, and he was basically like, he went all the way back. And when he went all the way back, he started talking about like his family had been into entertainment. His mother, don't quote me if I'm wrong, I can't remember that much, but I think his mother used to do like plays, Broadway type of thing. You know, it was just like a destined thing almost, you know, but like they went in it together, it seemed like, you know, like I don't know which one of them got their first big whatever, but to me they went in it together. Now I know later on type of thing. Don't get me wrong though, ain't nothing wrong with it. Shoot, if that's what you and you know your people want to do. But I just think it's weird. Sometimes it is weird, you know? Like lately, me been throwing a little shade towards her sister, and that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? For what? For what, man? Listen, I love my sister, but like, my sister is like, she kind of the reason why I'm here in this industry, but like, I'm not attached to her like that. You know what I'm saying? So respectfully, I don't want to talk about my sister, you know? And with all due respect, I don't want to talk about my sister like my sister is the eye. You know? I'm mean. I'm here to do my thing. And that's that, you know? Because at the end of the day, I look at it both ways too. Like, I don't knock mean for wanting to be on. You know, it is what it is. I don't knock her for wanting to be on and want to be a star or in the industry or have some fame and money, you know. Shoot, I ain't mad at her at all. But I can also feel Nicki Minaj's, you know what I'm saying, side of it too. Shit, for lots of different reasons. But I mean, that's just how I feel about it. But like, yeah, you know, it's crazy. People can attach themselves to you and it just be weird, you know. It's just super. Like even with Beyonce's nephew, right? You know, that's crazy. And I bet you, how much you want to bet? The bad press that he gets is annoying for her. Not only annoying because from an Amy's perspective, but also from a brand's perspective. It's just like, man, if you don't get somewhere and sit down, you know, because the thing about Beyonce's nephew is he's not even really in Hollywood. You see, he's just attached to the family. So it's like, man, start your own brand that you could be tearing down. Shit. Versus over here being attached to me. Child, it's crazy. But shout out to everybody that's shout out to everybody that's getting up, getting on it, getting theirs. Listen, let me tell you something. It is not easy, but baby, we can do it. It can be done. So shout out to that. And speaking of being a content creator, I was listening to I think her name is Cleopatra. I like her. You know the girl that be singing. I like her, but I definitely hate it when she got into it with Ice Spice. But in my business, I don't know nothing about them folks like that to even be in their business, But shout out to her though, because she just recently did the cutest little she did the cutest little video, you know what I'm saying? And I loved it. She was basically talking about how, you know, being a content creator, you know, you ain't just gonna blow up overnight. People be like, she said, only in this generation do people knock people where they be like, ugh, you still at it, you still trying. And she was like, you know, like, what, ain't that what it's supposed to be doing? You know what I'm saying? She was just basically saying that everybody ain't gonna pop overnight. Some people do, but that's not everybody's story. And I was like, girl, yes, I felt that 100% because, child, I don't care who say what about what I got going. I'm definitely gonna keep at it. Yeah, no, the truth is, yeah. It is what it is. You know why? You know why? Because for me, it ain't nothing new. It's just new. Does that make sense? Yeah, let me break that down a little bit better. For me, this, you know, wanting what I want, that's not new. It's just going after of it. You know, that's the new part. Okay? It just is what it is. But I never knew how to, or I never pursued, let me say that too. I never knew how to, and I also never pursued doing anything. You know what I'm saying? In Hollywood. I sure hate I didn't though. Yeah, to this day. Like Wilder said, shout out to this day. Y'all wish I had the like button. But you know, it is what it is. I finally had the courage to pursue it, you know? So it is what it is, and I ain't gonna ever stop. I'm not. But the good news is I'm not gonna lose myself doing it. And that's that. You know, I'm not about to do the most. I'm not about to compromise my integrity or none of that, you know? Because, Again, here go that E. Kane name again. Yeah, I got to throw that out there because the thing is, although I like E. Kane, I like E. Kane a lot, you know what I'm saying, on most days. Now, when she got a reasoning about her staying with Chris and being with Chris and all of that, she started losing me a little bit, but it is what it is. Y'all know I definitely love a person that can be themselves, come hell or hot water. But honestly, like I just feel like it's a lot of E-Kanes on the internet, truthfully, truth is. It's just, let me tell you what the internet knows though. And when I say the internet, I mean like the people, um, the big wigs, so to speak, the higher ups, the people that's looking and stuff like that. They know that although it's a lot of E-Kanes in the world, they know that a lot of people aren't willing to embarrass themselves like E-Kane. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. Like a lot of people can act like that. But the truth is, most people won't. Okay? So, it is what it is. That's where people like E-Kane and what's that other one like? Oh my God, they both a mess though. E-Kane and Kayla. E-Kane and Kayla. They alive. They're alive. Them two there, ooh, they some special people. Because I'm going to tell you like this, it really takes special people to put themselves out there like that. Like crazy. Like me, for instance, I tell all the time, it's lots of stuff that I can't explain. But like, I just feel like when I'm by myself, you know what I'm saying? I can definitely tap into my E-Kane. Remember I told y'all one time, I said before I knew it, I was acting like Jaguar, right? That's not funny, child. But listen, but at the end of the day, I'm not willing to let other people see me be like that. It just is what it is. And I think that's a lot of people, y'all. That's a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Think of how many Jim Carreys. Remember when Jim Carrey said, "Let me tell y'all something," when he was acting like Fire Marshal Bill? Like, I got it in me to be that goddamn silly. You know what I'm saying? When I'm by myself. But imagine if he held back like that. He wouldn't have never been the Jim Carrey that he is, that we know today. And I take it a step further. That's what separates. Yeah, that's what's gonna separate, the from the big leagues. Basically, it is what it is. If you're gonna, either you gonna hold it or you gonna show it, baby. And so it is what it is. It is what it is. Me personally, I'm holding mine, y'all. But shout out to everybody who went for it. You know what I'm saying? Went for it, goes for it daily. Because the thing is, that don't mean I ain't still going for mine. So shout out to that. I am. I'm just choosing to show y'all a different side of me. That's how. What I want to show. Does that make sense? Yeah. Let me break it down for you just a little bit. Make it even more more sense. You know, like, just like when you get up every day, you put clothes on before you go outside, right? For lots of reasons. You know, but one of the main reasons is you don't be trying to show people that side of you, right? You know, like, you know, truth is. And so, it is what it is. You know, I feel like a lot of people gatekeep their personality, so to speak. And that ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? No, that just ain't gonna be nothing new. But like I said, shout out to all the content creators because you know, it's not easy. But at the end of the day, we can do it, you know. And speaking of content creating, yeah, boys, anyway, had to tell my boys that I made them a little something, and everything else I need to say, but like, yeah, you know, I'm just a creative. So sorry, I said I'm a creative, being creative. Go put a shirt on, please. I'll see you when you get back. Good morning. um, and shout out to us all. Yeah. Well, I've been telling y'all though. I started last week. I think it did. Anyway, remember, I believe last week I started telling y'all like content creating is changing though, y'all, and I'm kind of sad because I'm feeling myself changing, and I'm like, you know, things are changing. And so ever since I said that, I saw another creator say that I forgot his name. His name is Kevin. I forgot his last name. Kevin Stage or something like that. I don't follow him, but his stuff comes up on my feed a lot, and I like his content, so it's all good. But anyway, I noticed that he was saying that the algorithm is changing everything. He said, I don't know. I told you how I feel about it. I just feel like, um, good morning. I think that content. I think social media is changing the era, but I also think that it has something to do with maturing. Yeah, it is what it is. I think that's what it is for me. Okay, and then so. And once I start feeling like that for myself, then I start to begin to look around at my peers, and it's just changing. You know, it is what it is. So, here comes another. Look, I guess he did that. I gotta talk to him about that. I think I mean, I heard that Joe Budden just recently announced that he will be doing true crime. He's launching a true crime podcast with somebody. Gotta hit the like button. And that's exactly what I meant right there. That's what I was telling y'all. Man, it's like Lauren Hill said, ready or not. Y'all ready or not? And like I said, if you pay attention, a lot of these bigger creators, their content is changing, y'all. It's changing or evolving. See how soon we can make it happen, but yeah. Um, Shout out to our creators, but like it's like the content is changing, you know. And so, like I was telling y'all yesterday, but the minute I tell y'all something, it's like people be like, "Oh no, no, it ain't," and they try to combat that, but it is. Yes, it is, Miss Preston Curl. Yes, it is, Mr. Preston Curl. It just is what it is. Um, don't get mad for people, telling the truth or pointing out the obvious. Now, I do get it though. I don't think they get mad. I don't. I just think that they be in business with people, or whatever, or they feel like whatever the audience, whatever they be like, no, they do not like, you know what I'm saying? Because I told you, I can tell y'all somebody's stuff is changing and they'll be cool. I can tell y'all anything about somebody and they'll change, come on the internet debunking it. It seemed like, what I'm saying, right away. And I always think that's so funny. And I always feel like, dang, did I do something wrong a little bit? But I know I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm just here to be creative. You know what I'm saying? Be a creative and create. It is what it is. Um, and so, I'm talking to my audience who are a lot of creatives, you know what I'm saying, and creatives, even if they aren't into content. It is what it is. Everybody has some form of creativity in them. And so, with that being said, we talk that talk. We shoot it all up and through there. It is what it is. Um, you know, and that's that. But yeah, I definitely think that, things are changing a bit, but I'm not mad at it at all. One thing about me, I feel like even though I'm not, I mean, personally, I'm not crazy about change. I'm not, if I'm being real. I think I like, when something works, I just, I like it. It is what it is. Especially because I like structure. But at the same time, you know, um, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I just feel like I'm not threatened by it, if that makes sense. Yeah, no, truth is, it just is what it is. Let it change. And, you know, because like I said, everybody's content is evolving, So, like, for instance, this is what I'm basically talking about. I feel like, and it's crazy too, y'all, because I was thinking about this shit in my sleep last night, or rather this morning. And for real, y'all, this is a true story. Make sure y'all scoot up, hit the like button. For real, this is a true story. I started to think how, like, my mind went deeper into what I've been talking to y'all about. For real. And like, so basically, um, okay, so this is what I was saying, right? And this time I'm going to try not to use people as examples, okay? It just is what it is. I'm going to try. Or at least the people that I did use the first time, okay? I won't use them again the second time. So shout out to them. And shout out to them too. Y'all know y'all are. But no, listen. So, you know how people will sit in front of a camera, right? And talk about people, you know, almost like Wendy Williams style of commentary, but on YouTube, or other platforms, right? I feel like that is changing. Okay, I feel like that era is changing for whatever reason. And again, I don't necessarily know the full reason, but I personally looked into my own personal life and what I have going on, and I just realized that, it seems like the older I get, right? Because remind you, I just had a birthday. And remind you, I just started feeling like this. Well, I didn't just have a birthday, but it feels like I just had a birthday. Shit, my birthday is like, what, 4 months away? I mean, well, then I didn't just have a birthday, did I? But, it still feels like it. It really does. It does feel like it. But anyway, I just started feeling like this too. You know what I'm saying? Almost like I'm just taking a step back a little bit from social media, So maybe that's what it is. I don't necessarily know. Again, I think as people age, their feelings and needs and wants can change, So I feel like, me personally, that's why my content is evolving. My content is it has evolved for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like I changed it, whatever, regardless of whatever people might think about my content, it changed. Okay. Um, and so it changed because I'm changing, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So anyway, but I also think things around me are changing. So anyway, long story short, like I said, last night I was thinking about it in my sleep, and I was like, it really feels like the Wendy Williams era is gone. Yeah, now truth is, let's talk about it. The Sally, Raphael, the Donahue, the Montel Williams, the Ricky Lakes, the Jerry Springers, the Steve Wilkoses, the Wendy Williams, the Sherry Shepherds of the world. It just seems like Phil Donahue, Dr. Phil. It seems like that era is gone, y'all. Not necessarily completely gone with the wind, fabulous, but it definitely feels like it's on its way out the door. And so I look at these bigger creators, and it seems like there's a shift in their content. It just is what it is. It definitely feels like there's some type of shift in their content. And I'm like, like I said, we'll be, I personally, I feel like we'll be okay. Sure, listen, there was a shift in my content before I even felt this shift. So, imagine that, and that's why I feel like everybody will be okay. It's just always something. And so I had started naming people, right? And the different things that they're doing, And so I said I didn't want to name no names, but forget it. I already name dropped Joe Budden. So shout out to that. Let's do it. Joe Budden allegedly getting into true crime is that's change for Joe. Um, that is definitely something different. Period. Like Two Chainz said. So shout out to that. And shout out to Joe, but yeah, I mean this and the truth is it's happening, whether people want it to or not. And like I said, a lot of people that I do see doing the kind of commentary that I used to do, it's more like it's new people. They're all new faces, younger, fresh faces, so to speak. But I don't know. I mean, I guess I feel like it's still working for them over there on TikTok, but I'm telling y'all now, you know what I'm saying? Over here on YouTube, uh, me personally, I feel like it's changing a little bit. Now truth is, let's talk about it. Um, mm, mm. Now, is some people content still doing hella good? Yes, for sure. Shout out to them and shout out to that. But that does not mean, that there hasn't been a shift. Because it is. It is what it is. And at least for me, I'm speaking from personally what I see and what I'm doing every day. I definitely feel like people my age and my age group are starting to, they either starting to, hold on. They either starting to or they been, okay? Uh, changing their content. I mean, hold on. Touching grass. Um, and okay, so the audience is getting older, and as your audience gets older and ages, right? To me, they're going to be less not less engaged, but yeah, that they are. So you're um if your audience is getting older, right, and they're not even on social media as much as they used to, then that means they might not catch every show like they used to. They probably catching every other show now. And it is what it is. Honestly, personally, I think everyone will be just fine. Yeah, like Mary J. Blige said, as long as they stick to new fresh stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so shout out to everybody who is keeping it new, keeping it fresh, which is why I'm streaming. It is what it is. Like streaming is, the new, well, it's not new, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. It's like the new fresh thing, so to speak, Child, no, I'm trying. Look at all of that. Yeah, anyway, shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to everybody who comes through. I appreciate you all. Oh, man. I got so much on my plate. And I'm the type of person where, like, it doesn't matter what I have going on, right? It could be like something good, something bad. It really don't even matter. Like I could be getting ready for, anything that I'm getting ready for is just like nerve wracking for me. Yeah, nah, truth is. And I'm the type of person I can't wait till it's done. Yeah. You want the truth? You gotta be able to handle it with me. So it is what it is. I guess I can't wait till it's over with and done. Like it don't matter what I'm getting ready for. Birthday party, wedding, graduation, close. Come on. You haven't slept yet, right? Yeah, I slept. Yeah. And then oh. Ugh. Hold on, y'all. I need to put y'all on a brief hold. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm talking to my boys real quick. Hold on 1 second. All right, y'all. So anyway, I'm back. But yeah, shout out to all the creators out there. Y'all make sure y'all keep doing y'all thing. Cause I'm gonna do mine. I know that's right. I am. Like I don't know what people be thinking. Yeah, nah, truth is I hold on. You know, honestly, giving up on anything that I decide to pursue, you know, at this level though, it's like, nah. It's just like, man, you, man, you wasted so much cake, it's not even funny. It's all over the floor. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, like it's just I listen at this point. How the song say, it's just too late to turn back now. Now if I pursue something tomorrow, and I decide to quit, it is what it is. That's different. That's definitely different from this. But like, yeah, nah. Truth is, this ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter. You know, what bumps come along, I'ma still be here. Um, it doesn't matter. Um, what life brings about. I'm gonna still be here. Even if it was just because I remember when I first started. When I first started, I think I was only doing like, I can't remember. I can't remember if when I first started, I was doing 1 day a week or I was doing shorts only. But it's one of the two. You know what I'm saying? And I think I was just doing 1 day a week. And that's how I was ending up getting clips for my shorts. So there you have it. But like, even if I just went back to that, truth is I ain't slowing down and I ain't stopping. Mm-mm. No, I'm not. It is what it is. So shout out to that. But yeah, I'm doing my podcast these days and I'm streaming. So shout out to that. Um, and yeah, my content is gonna do what it do. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. It's gonna do exactly what the F I needed to. So shout out to that. Now this is crazy though. Let me just tell y'all. Hair update. The hair is thriving. It is what it is. Um, I'm definitely behind on getting my ends clipped. Child, and they look so like, like, ugh. I almost cut them off myself. But I was like, no, because even though I can do it myself, I just definitely think that they do a way better job. Um, way more thorough of a job than I can. So like it is what it is. I definitely need to schedule me an appointment for that. But yeah, hair thriving, got me a little unit. Child, just pop it on and off. Um, as need be. So that's that child. Mm-hmm. Shout out to that. I wonder how long I've been up. Cause I didn't start feeling a little sleepy. Yeah. So that's that. Um, Now, anyway, y'all, I need to address my speculations with City Star yesterday. Um, I assumed that Sydney was probably a working girl, but I don't know. Now I'm not so sure. I will just say though, listen, I know it's crazy. I know it's sad that it's, somebody that's not of age involved. Um, but we're waiting on the details, and that, again, um, it can be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Sensitive, right? Because it's somebody young involved. But listen, I don't need the details of what happened in the room, so to speak, necessarily. Not no full details, absolutely not. More so, what we want to know is, how did this happen? And because, okay, ever since I talked to y'all, they are saying that it was a middle school football team, okay, at this hotel where Sydney was, and that's how the two even came about. The situation even got, but then that just led to even more and more questions. So okay. Well, what I would assume is, you know, now with those details, we could assume two things. Well, a lot of things actually, but one of them could be, okay, were they in communication? You know, before any of this took place, because that's initially what I had thought. I thought that this was probably a team that some kind of way got in communication with Sydney, and then it went bad. That's what I thought. But then once they said something about the hotel, I was like, well, dang, is Sydney working? Is Sydney a working girl? Especially, with the comments pouring in that this is nothing new for Sydney, allegedly. The comments are pouring in that, like this is a known, talked about thing in Chicago, about Sydney, allegedly. So that's where that came from. I was like, okay, so okay, do Sydney is she a working girl? That's what I started thinking yesterday. Now I don't know anymore because they saying again this is some type of football team and he was there and no. So now everybody like how he. So now it's more so possible like um how sometimes when kids are in these type of settings, people will let like two kids go to the vending machine or two kids go down to the front desk to get some extra towels, stuff like that. As long as they pair up, type of thing, it's okay. Because people keep saying, where was the boy's parents? Where was the boy's parents? So that's all I can think of. Some kind of way, apparently, or, seemingly, he, was able to run into Sydney. And then maybe not right then and there, maybe him and Sydney talked about whatever they talked about, and they said later on, come to this room. I don't know how it happened, y'all. But all I want to say is, um, yesterday, when I was saying everything I said, child, we got to just scratch that, basically, because I don't, now I'm confused and I don't think that was the situation anymore. Now, I know Sydney is allegedly speaking out from behind bars and seemingly saying, you know, Sydney is kind of like saying everything ain't what it seems, and like arrested doesn't mean guilty, and kind of like let her go through her due process or whatever. So all I can think of from Sydney's point of view is she probably gonna say that the person lied about his age. That's all. Really, at this point, it seems like that's the only angle um, she can come from, or well, I guess also she can say that like nothing happened. I guess she could say that too, but um, it's gonna be interesting to get all the details of the story. I know somebody said there was a police report out there, so let me do my research on that and see who has it, child, and who's talking about it. Okay, and we're gonna get back to y'all for that. Now I know Tasha K did say she will be like shedding some more light on the situation. Shout out to her and shout out to that. Because I know Tasha, or like I told y'all, she was the first person who I saw post about it. So anyway, I just for clarification purposes on what we talked about yesterday during the podcast, when we talked about Sydney Star, okay, and her charges that she has down there in Georgia. They say they ain't not finna play with you. Child. Now, hold on real quick. This is kind of off topic. It's off topic, but it's on. Yeah, no, truth is. Let's talk about it. They said in Georgia, Georgia, and I believe it though. They said it is not. They said it is not a game. I read somebody said that they moved. First of all, a woman did a whole post about Georgia. She said Cobb County. It was Cobb and it was another one. She was like, they are nothing to play with. So people was just in her comments like adding on. Yeah, no, they was just adding on. And somebody was saying that like, uh, somebody, I think they had moved there. And when they got there, they got I want to say they said a super speeding ticket. I said, what the hell is that? Some type of speeding ticket though. And said, now, I wonder what type of speeding ticket you got, because, I did see one time when I was watching cops where this dude was doing like reckless driving, and he was saying that like, you gotta go to jail for that. Yeah, no, the truth is, he said, you got to go to jail for that. It ain't no, you can't write a ticket for that. So, But this person said they got a ticket and was on 6 months probation. I said, take the what and leave the what? Christina Scott, baby, they said they don't MNF and play. Yeah, no, truth is, Warren Curtis, they do not MNF and play. She said, this is not the place to come playing around and laying around. She said, she said, Georgia is not the place, you come to where you still be doing stuff. She said, nah, this is where you come when you ready to get your stuff together. So it is what it is. I would assume she had moved down there from somewhere, child. So it is what it is. Y'all pass that along, pass that on. Cause like, yeah, I'm telling you now. If I gotta come through there, I'm gonna be moving like a snail. So shout out to that. Now, anyway. Okay, and so I'm gonna need to do some clarifying on the Clarissa Shields stuff too. Um, Listen, so we all know this same thing we've been talking about is getting more traction, more traffic, so to speak. Um, this stuff with Clarissa Shields and the radio host lady. What's her name? Is Shani? Or I gotta look the lady name. I gotta look up the lady name because Clarissa Shields did say something that I can get with. She basically said like, she said I don't like. She said okay. She said you wanted a viral moment and you got it. She was like, cause I don't know you. I didn't come up there for you. I came up there for Jock and Shorty. She was like, I don't know you. I kind of feel the same way. Outside of that, all that other stuff, I don't know the lady. I never heard of her, but apparently, she's Atlanta's own, and baby, it seemed like they was Clarissa Shields calling her, everything got shorter outside of short, fat, and black. Child, they was ready to jump her. Okay, it is what it is. Clarissa, though, it is what it is. Clarissa was ready to take it there with the lady. Now, this is the thing. Clarissa, okay, tell me why. Clarissa said the lady asked a disrespectful question and she still, you know, didn't necessarily check her like that. She said she checked her like that, but like, where was all this energy when I was there in front of you? Child, it's so messy. It has gotten even messy. But let me tell you something. At first, I was like, Clarissa tripping out. She didn't ask Clarissa nothing wrong or disrespectful. Wait, wait. I had to listen to it again. I had to listen to it again, y'all. And damn it, y'all got me agreeing with Clarissa this week. It's crazy. But truth is, that lady was disrespectful in the way she asked it. She asked Clarissa, how long do you plan on waiting for somebody else's husband? Because at the end of the day, she said, that's what it is, it's somebody else's husband. She said it almost identical to that. Right. That was distasteful. It was. But I didn't hear it like that the first time. I heard it the way I would have said it, Like, I didn't hear it like that. I thought she asked Clarissa, how long are you going to wait on Papoose divorce to get divorced? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there like, how long is too long, or have you thought about that, or is there not a number on it? Let us know. Now that I see as a very valid question, and I don't see no disrespect in it. And I thought that's what she asked, but it wasn't. I mean, it is what she asked. She just asked it in a different way. So I gotta agree with Clarissa, a little bit. It was, y'all. It was kind of disrespectful the way the lady said it. Um, Cause I mean the way she said it, she might as well just say, "So how long do you plan on screwing this lady's husband?" I mean, for real, that's what it sounded like she really wanted to say. And so honestly, my ears was deceiving me. I thought Clarissa was tripping. I thought the lady didn't say nothing wrong. But when I think about it, she did. She kind of came at Clarissa, a little sideways with a valid question though. It was a valid question, it was. Um, for real, it was. It was a really good question. But child, they ready to take it there behind the question, I guess, because since she asked the question, I guess she been having more to say. And I read what somebody said it was Clarissa that actually had something more to say. Like the next day, um, I don't know, child. But I know it's getting, it's getting kinda ugly. Uh, you know, child down there in ATL, so to speak, child, because Carissa didn't attack this lady's, you know, her looks. And, like I said, the people in Atlanta wasn't having that. Like, for instance, Eva, y'all know, child, little bitty Eva. Not little bitty Eva was like, basically like, Clarissa, you need to chill, because it'll be up about this one. And, I saw other people commenting that seemed to be vouching for that. Okay. Um, so it just is what it is. And I definitely heard somebody say, like, it seemed like it was the lady, the one that asked Clarissa that question. It seemed like she was saying something about, like, well, you know, I can't even remember how she said it, but to me, it seemed like what she was trying to basically, I mean, what she was saying is, like, uh, Clarissa need to get them questions out the way, so she can go on to talk about, you know, basically get her income tax check and go on and get on with. Uh, that's what the lady was basically saying, and that kind of made sense too. Um, it is what it is. Let them ask, all the papoose questions they want. And I see where Remy Ma is coming from too. You know, Clarissa, if they asking you about you and papoose, then talk about you and papoose. Like, yeah, it's. I definitely understand where Remy coming from. There comes a point. I feel like everything, it comes to a point. So I can see how Remy is, kind of mad. It is what it is. And they all are, at this point, they're all feeding into the, you know? And I think that's what Remy didn't want, to be feeding into the promo of Clarissa Shields, but it's happening. It's working every time. So I don't know if it's necessarily working in Remy's favor like that, but I know it's working at ours. Yeah. So shout out to that. It damn surely is. I said it just damn surely is. Because, now we know a little something, something. Oh, and let me say this, y'all. Because this is the main thing I wanted to tell y'all. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Make sure y'all scoot up and hit the like button. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party. I'm streaming today. I said I'm streaming today. So shout out to that. Child, I don't see why. Hold on, let's see. I don't I don't necessarily know how long I'm gonna be on today, y'all. So just enjoy me while I'm here. Shout out to that. I said I'm here for a good time. Hold on, let me see. Oh, my stuff going dead, and you ain't you know it. That's sad. I had to put myself on the. Wait, that's crazy. What happened to Perez Hilton? Did y'all see that? This is what Eva said to Clarissa. She said, "Now wait, no. She didn't say it to Clarissa. She said it in the comments though. She said, "Now wait one goddamn minute." That was funny. She said, "Are we talking about the same interview?" Because this is a whole lot of aftermath energy, considering there was nothing but space and opportunity on air. Now she said, on air. Let's keep it cute. She said, "You two are both a beautiful black women. But me nor the entire town play about Miss Shanika. And she is nothing but beautiful. So watch your throat on the weight respectfully." That's what Eva said. Now how you gonna say all of that and say respectfully? People kills me. No, wasn't nothing respectful about what you said. You started off with wait one goddamn minute. Girl, please. You know, no, ma'am. Not the turkey or the burger. Like stand on what you said. Yeah, now like T.I. said, stand up, Eve. Shit. Cause she said, but me nor the entire town play about Miss Shanika. Yeah, I agree. Shout out to this lady. Let me see. Okay, this lady says, let me see. Let me tell y'all what the comments have said. The comments are Kayla Hodges. Shout out to Kayla Hodges. She said, I think because Clarissa has never been married, she's not understanding that a relationship is not over until the papers are signed. I genuinely don't think she means any harm, but she's just not seeing it from any other perspective than her own because she loves Pap. Now I can agree with that a little bit though. Yeah, now the truth is I can agree with it a little bit. I would the only thing I would change is the I genuinely don't think she means any harm. Uh, I would keep the, but I think she's not seeing it from any other perspective than her own because she loves Pap. Now that I really do believe, but I also think that sometimes, a person can come in with like this F that type of attitude. So I mean I don't think she means no harm. No, Clarissa, she doesn't move like a woman who doesn't mean any harm. Does that make sense? Yeah, now let's talk about it. If she didn't mean any harm, she wouldn't be beefing with Rim. Like it just is what it is. Like a woman that means no harm, that's her position for real. It ain't no in between. As aggressive and loud as she has been, Clarissa has did everything outside of beat on her motherfucking chest, okay? Uh that she's with this man. Like, come on, like no, But, so I definitely think that I think I think because she's never been married before, um she just thinks that marriage is just like any other relationship because I used to think that too. People think that sometimes. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I definitely changed my perspective on it. Once I kept living, but I definitely think that like the fact that she hasn't been married before, again, there is some ignorance, a lot of ignorance that comes into play. But I also think she is more so like I think she's coming at the whole situation wrong. Yeah, now truth is, and I think her friendship, I say that real loosely though, not her friendship, but this associates, her association with Lotto. I feel like it's kind of uh, I don't want to say it's come too late because I guess it's never too late, but like I just wish she like was like like was in a healthy associationship with Lotto a long time ago. It is what it is. Because she could have learned a thing or two, from Lotto. Yeah. Truth is, in a way, she carried herself throughout the whole thing with 21 Savage. This is what it is. Personally, if you ask me, okay, Clarissa, shout out to you, girl. Clarissa skills to pay the bill shield. Shit. you know. Now personally, I feel like that's where they got her messed up. Truth is this talk about I feel like that's where they got her messed up. But let me just say this. Clarissa, for real, I know, I get it. But I also think Clarissa is starting to get it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being real, I don't know though. I can't say it like it's actual and factual. I gotta give it some time. You know what I'm saying? And just wait and see. But it seems like they are, and when I say they, I mean Clarissa and Papoose, it seems like they starting to get it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know though. You know, it just is what it is. You gotta wait and see. And then some people just, they just gonna do them. Hold on though. Hold on, y'all. Hold on real quick. Anyway. Um, anyway. So yeah, I'm trying it is what I'm trying to get my younger baby to like regulate, okay? Let's talk this out. It's out, it's crying. But anyway. All right. Yeah, he sound like he using his words now. So anyway, back to what I was saying though. When it comes to Clarissa, I just feel like we'll just have to see. I think sometimes um going into things blindly is just that. She definitely seems like she is going into this blindly, um almost like she doesn't understand the full scope of what she has going on, so to speak. But at the end of the day, like Clarissa said, they mess around, you know. So to them being her and Papoose, they just are wanting to see it differently. But like, listen, that don't change everybody's else perspective, So in other words, when you make a movie or a skit or something like that, right? You don't get to dictate the way everybody else views it. Okay? So it just is what it is. Um Now I definitely think, um again, her and Lotto, yeah, she should have been doing it. Clarissa should have been doing it. Like Lotto started off if she was gonna do it. Now I do hate using Lotto as an example, because we don't necessarily know 21 our 21 Savage's business like that. It just is what it is. But at the end of the day, we can use Lotto because Lotto kept it in the tuck. It just is what it is. Shoot, it's almost like Lotto them kept it in the tuck until either they couldn't no more or whatever. However that ended up happening. Because I kept telling y'all, Lotto was saying she wanted a baby. I kept telling y'all that girl was talking about a baby, 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 baby. Yeah, she was talking baby, 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 baby. I was surprised she ain't do a remix or, a remake of the song. Yeah. So anyway, uh, somebody said Somebody said both are still married. So I think dishonoring their vows when they are with other people. However, once you file for a divorce, I think you definitely can move on, because I know it takes years when you have to fight over assets. You know, I don't know. Personally, I think I'm just a little too old school on the matter. I think dealing with married people is tacky. And that's just my personal opinion. Um, mm, truth is. But hey, you know, that's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely, personally, I feel like Clarissa could have done better, as far as like getting with somebody that isn't married, you know? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. They together, they together. I mean, it seems that even sounds weird to say. They together. How the hell are you gonna be together with somebody else? Married. It's just weird. It is. It's just a weird, tacky situation. And the truth is, people try to like man. Okay. So let me say it like this. Let me say it like this so we all can understand. Period. I can say it like this and chop it up for the girls in the back. So, like, let's say we all see somebody, you know, at the BET Awards. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people think that the outfit was tacky. I mean, lots and lots of people called the outfit tacky. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta know that it's gonna be some people that's gonna be like, I didn't see it as tacky. You know what I'm saying? I actually rocked with it. I liked it or whatnot, whatnot. So it is what it is. That's how I feel about it. You're gonna have some people that feel like it's tacky, you know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna have some people that can, well, like this lady said, you know what I'm saying? This lady said she feels like if a divorce is filed, you can move on. That's what she said. So anyway, shout out to them. Shout out to all of that. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this again is not because Eva chimed in, and it's actually not because Clarissa has gotten upset. Matter of fact, let me tell y'all. Let me play with y'all what Clarissa had to say. Sat up there and talked that to me, and then when I checked you respectfully, I checked you respectfully in your face. You should order this. Now, after the fact, you got all this lip and talking all this because you never got this much attention before in your life. Being a radio host, I didn't even know who you was. I came here for Jock and Shorty. I did not come here for you. But the fact that you asked a question in such a distasteful way, and I answered you like the professional that I am, now you want to go on these rants and talking about some pat with me for this reason, pat with me for that reason, blah, 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 blah. You didn't say none of that stuff when you were sitting there in my presence. Anika, your big now, one thing that I gotta agree with, I know this is crazy. This agree with Clarissa Shields week. It just is what it is. Uh, uh, I'm not gonna lie. When after the lady asked the question, because like I said, the question, the way she worded it was really disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't disrespectful like way out of pocket. But it was disrespectful. Like, you talking to Clarissa like you know her. You talking to Clarissa like that's your homegirl. You asking her how long is she willing to wait on this lady's husband, you know? And she said, and she followed up with, because at the end of the day, that's what essentially it is. It's somebody else's husband, like that's crazy. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? As much boldness, okay, as it took for her to sit there and say that, her demeanor kind of did change once Clarissa started responding to her. It definitely did, giving her an answer. It definitely yeah, you like you it's just like it was almost like somebody was, you know what I'm saying, like popping a balloon a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know how Beetlejuice went to shrinking? Like, yeah, that's how, to me, kind of how she started looking. Once Carissa started responding, and you can tell that she didn't really want to follow up or trigger Clarissa anymore. Because you could tell Clarissa was irritated too in the response that she gave, because, like, to me, the lady should have stood on all 10. She should have said, she should have let Clarissa say whatever she wanted to say and then reworded it and still told Clarissa, like, but I was asking you, like, is there a, like, it is what it is, because Clarissa didn't answer her. At the end of the day, she did not answer her. She talked all around it and she answered it the way she wanted to. But she asked you, how long are you willing to be with Papoose while he's married and wait on him to get a divorce? Basically, that's what she asked you. And you never answered that. You know what I'm saying? So the lady should have stood on all 10 and she should have went right back on your ass. I go, okay, because this ain't your ring, Clarissa. Ding 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 ding, round 2. Yeah, champ, but you know that ain't what I asked you, type ish. So I gotta agree with Clarissa. What Clarissa said, like, because you never got this much attention before in your life. Not that part. Radio host. I didn't even know who you was. I came here for Jock and Shorty. I did not come. But when she said, "What was that energy at?" The fact that you asked a question in such a distasteful way. That part. And I answered you like the professional that I am. Now you wanna go on these rants and talking about some Pat with me for this reason, Pat with me for that reason, blah 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 blah. You didn't say none of that stuff when you were sitting there in my presence. Anika, your big face. Now that's what I agree with Clarissa. Like, now, I mean, I don't expect for her to just go in, like whatever, like, of course, like for instance, I'm doing commentary, you know what I'm saying, on Clarissa. So of course my commentary gonna be different versus an interview with her, But at the end of the day, I agree with Clarissa. She should have stood on all 10. Like, the energy was different, okay, in the interview, It is what it is. But I just want to say this. I wanted to talk about Clarissa them again, though, mainly because oh my God, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, y'all scoot up. Make sure y'all hit the like button if you fall through. To my party, to my party, to my party. Hey, I'm trying to get these well, I'm not trying, I am. I'm getting these day parties off the ground. Yeah, shout out to that. I'm just getting these streaming day parties off the ground. And shout out to that. Y'all make sure y'all come through and subscribe. Okay, don't forget to subscribe. Because you never know who you might see. Amen. So shout out to that. At my party, at my party, at my party. Somebody shout out to Diddy. Shout out to Diddy down there doing what he gotta do in Fort Dix. Shit, I said they said Diddy just doing what he gotta do down there in Fort Dix. And shit, if they don't know, now they know. They talk about Diddy had to get on somebody ass. Okay, this is what it is. And I wonder if he out the hole now. Yeah, no, truth is, I wonder if Diddy out the hole. Because I don't even know if I've been throwing these parties since, but I think I was already throwing them when he went. But anyway, shout out to that. And shout out to Diddy. I'm holding the parties down. I got the parties, got the parties, got the parties. So shout out to that. And shout out to Waka too. But this is what I want to tell y'all about Clarissa Shields. Hold on. Um, This is what I was to tell y'all about Clarissa that I forgot yesterday. And y'all make sure y'all turn on y'all notifications because I might start texting y'all every now and then. Yeah, because I'm a texter. Okay. I don't know who need to hear that. Should I say I am a texter. I love texting. I mean, I stream, but I don't really be talking on the phone like that. So yeah, shout out to that. But listen to this. So yesterday, I meant to tell y'all. I hate when I forget to tell y'all something, especially when it's so important. This is what I want to tell y'all. Clarissa, this is what I want to tell Clarissa too. Clarissa, at least, when Remy Ma said, Papoose, she said she'll be single when they quit, when Papoose, seemingly Papoose quit asking for half. Ooh, that was a blessing for Clarissa. Yeah, now truth is that was a blessing for Clarissa, and I hope Clarissa is listening because now she knows. Okay, out the rip, the Pap is a man that will ask for half. Okay, if anything goes, you know, if you gotta go do the split thing, then now you know what you know. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Oh, that's some important shit to know, ain't it? I said, look at God. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And I hope Clarissa takes that blessing, okay? And runs with it. And by all means, I'm not saying run away from Papoose, Clarissa. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If that's meant to be, that'll be. But what I do mean is, just like note that, write that down, put that in your back pocket. In fact, hand it to your lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the truth is, because if you ever go down the aisle with this man, at least now you know who you dealing with for real. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, nah, truth is. And I'll take it a step further because y'all know that's what I do. I like to do that. And then here's the kicker. Y'all see how involved Papoose is with Clarissa's career? Again, he moved like a man that won't have, don't he? Child, bye. So anyway, I'm just saying, okay? I'm definitely not saying it like it's actual and factual because I don't know. I'm just saying seemingly, Okay, truth is, after what Remy Ma said, yeah, it just is what it is. Clarissa better have her, you know, on her thinking hat. It just is what it is, okay? Because life isn't a game. It isn't, y'all. Like, nah, I'm telling you now, have all your ducks in a row. Like, I know Clarissa like to say this and that, because she do, and shout out to her and shout out to that. Clarissa will tell you, in the New York second, listen, it's not about my money, because, like, I ain't doing it like that. Which I think Pap getting like that. Um, yeah, I'm a good woman. He's a good guy, and we have good times. So that's not to say she don't do for him and stuff, but she basically saying that, like, don't worry if y'all think Papoose is gonna, take me fast. You know what I'm saying? Money wise. That's kind of what Clarissa be saying. So, like, yeah. Okay, Clarissa. Well, make sure you stay on your Q's and your P's then, okay? Because this man is definitely years older than you, okay? So he definitely has the experience that it is that you just don't. The truth is, you just don't. Um. So anyway, though, shout out to that. Now, moving on, okay? Yeah, gotta move on. I'm about to dip. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on these internet streets before I dip. All right. Let me just say, this Jaherbo stuff is kicking up steam. And if I didn't know no better, it was kind of probably some truth to it. But I will say this. Jaherbo and Taina, they are kind of like, some of them people were like, you mind your business. Yeah, truth is, you mind your business, because Taina, you know, um, is, cute as Taina is, right? As beautiful as she is, as nice looking as Taina is. Um, it don't matter how many skirts, how many heels, how many outfits, how many bodysuits, how many poses Taina do. Okay. Truth is, Taina don't seem like she going anywhere. Okay. It just is what it is. And I know, I know. I know. Yeah. But if I got to be the one to say it, it just is what it is. I know it like it doesn't sound good. I know it don't, you know, but it is what it is. That's what's how I want to put it. Like, if that's what you, in other words, I'm calling it how I see it. Does that make sense? So, for instance, you might not like what I'm saying, but I feel like it should be hard to be mad at it if that's how you've been coming off. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And it's like, you know, ain't nobody, it's like no tea, no shade. It just is what it is. So yeah, I mean, have fun, I guess, girl. Have fun with the with all of that. I don't know what they got going. Seem like kind of like making him suffer a little bit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just saying what seemingly is going on the internet, but I cannot. You know what I'm saying? But like, word on the curb is, a lot of people seem to think that Herbo has possibly, seemingly been cheating. You know what I'm saying? Um, and Herb hasn't really necessarily said if he has or hasn't. He just basically said that he has never professed or begged nobody for nothing. Yeah, because they trying to. Well, not they trying to. Somebody has definitely linked um her to Boston Richie's ex. I'm chilling. I am chilling. I will get offline for you to come hang out if that's what you want to do. Come on. I said, come on. Come on, come on, come on. So anyway, but yeah, word on the carpet, they trying to say that Jaharbo might have been, what I'm saying, doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And her really haven't denied it. He just said like what they said wasn't all actual and factual. Yeah, truth is. Which makes me feel like Taina might know the real truth, so it is what it is. Like, ain't no sense in and getting online lying to us if Taina already know the real truth. You know what I'm saying? The only way he would get online and well, not the only way, but the main reason, purpose for him getting online lying to everybody if he needed to would only be if he needed Taina to buy the lie to. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But Taina allegedly liked the post that said Herb allegedly cheating again or something like that, y'all. And it said Taina been turning up and she had. I told y'all that. It's crazy. And I kind of knew it was trouble in paradise because Herb haven't been in her comments. It is what it is. Like, that's what y'all fail to realize. Some people, right? Like myself, people pay attention to details, and sometimes those details can be patterns, you know. So the minute y'all switch something up, we'd be like, Christina's gone. It is what it is. And Taina just, yeah, Taina been giving clues too. It is what it is. Y'all know I told y'all. Some women be all, ooh, look at me, ooh, 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 I'm outside, I'm outside, you know. And she Taina been giving that. It is what it is. Just in a different way, you know? Child, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Her and Cardi B basically doing the same thing right now. Yeah, truth is, you want the truth, you gotta be able to handle it. But, Taina, you don't know where Taina going. Cardi B outside a little bit. You know, you don't really know where Cardi going either. But Cardi, she been outside a little bit. You know, Cardi will show herself at the club. You know, she'll do a video talking about, you know, she been outside a little bit. You know, so it is what it is. But you know, most of the time, when y'all do stuff like that, y'all just I don't know, I can't explain it. It's not nothing new for Taina to get dressed up, get cute, and make her a little video. But she been going overboard. Like, you know, you can kind of just tell. Anyway, Anyway, yes. Man. Um, what was I telling y'all? I forgot what I was telling y'all. That's so lame to me. Oh yeah, Jeharbo, Taida. Yeah, sometimes I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I just feel like yeah, it ain't hard to tell when it's trouble in paradise. Does that make sense? That's why, to me personally, less is more. It is what it is. Like for instance, I don't do nothing online. Well, let me take myself out of the equation. The people who don't share their relationship online, it's nothing to speculate about it, because it's nothing. It's a big blank nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like a blank sheet of paper. Um, a blank sheet of copy paper to be exact. Like it's nothing. It's nothing for you to speculate about, go off of. Um, So yeah, just a reminder, but yeah, just the fact that, Herbo even said something. And then not only that, they got him online. They got him online for two things right now. They saying he checked somebody, some dude about, I don't know, somebody locked up. Which is crazy to me. It is what it is. It be like that sometimes. I did say I seen somebody in the comments say that they feel like Jeharbo is wrong, but I don't know. I'm just saying, cause y'all know I'm here to link news and opinion, so it is what it is. That's not me though. That's somebody else's opinion, cause I don't know what's going on. hmm Truth is, I don't know what's going on with Jeharbo and whoever this guy is he talking to. But he basically said like, yeah, you know, like mine's business. It is what it is. That's what Jarbo basically had to tell the man. He said a whole lot more, but I'm like, me personally, I don't have a lot of words for it, but I was thinking, as soon as I said all that, I said, oh man, Jarbo going through something right now. hmm Yeah, no, truth is, I just feel like, now ain't the right time, probably. I mean, it's never a right time, honestly, to pocket watch, though. But that's why I said, somebody in the comments said they feel like, Herb is wrong. But it is what it is. I don't know. Really don't. So, anyway, shout out to them and that. Um, and, just, yeah, prayers for all people involved. You know what I'm saying? Because especially Taina, because um, it just is what it is. I know men think whatever they think, right? I know men be thinking whatever they be thinking, but the truth is, good women don't deserve that. It is what it is. They don't. Um, and it's crazy too because I was gonna tell y'all earlier. I don't know why, but I got off of it. But I like something in my spirit moved me to tell y'all earlier. That like when you're dating, you know what I'm saying? When you're dating, you should be intentional. Oh, that's what I was gonna tell y'all. Cause I was thinking about Blueface talking about, how Nevaeh don't clean and stuff. And it's like when you're in the dating phase, that's what you should have been talking about. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that you like your house clean and you like somebody that's gonna clean up behind you and gonna clean up behind themselves. When he was in the talking stage with Nevaeh, that's what he should have been talking about. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And so like, yeah, when you are, you know, talking to your woman, and she telling you that she wants to be in a monogamous relationship, like I don't know what y'all be thinking when y'all um say that y'all gonna do it and don't. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, child? I just don't really know. But I definitely think that it is one of the worst things, though. Has to be. Ugh. I ain't lying. I think it's one. I think, for real, I think it's one of the most um messed up things, ghetto, for real. When it comes to dating, though, honestly, and relationships, it just is what it is. That part does suck. You know, when it's supposed to be one thing, but it ain't. It's crazy. But child, I don't know. you know, like I said, uh, I want to send my thoughts to Taina, okay? Because, like I said, her, however she seems to be in her relationship, however she comes off or perceived, right? At the end, I am a woman first, so it's all love, and it really is no tea, no shade, okay? Um, and I really agree with Blueface when he says the truth can never be a diss. I used to like when he said that. So shout out to that. Now speaking of Blueface too, shout out to him too. Um, I just can't even imagine. I mean, I guess we are watching though, up close and personal. You know, um, how some guys think. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Blueface. For letting us in like that. Cause honestly, I think everybody deals with. They do. I told y'all that. Everybody deals with things differently. Especially when they're hurting, and especially when they're going through like something messed up. Like I almost call what Blueface is going through a breakup, but it kind of is. You know what I'm saying? It kind of is. Uh, and Jaden, they weren't together, but they were still messing around. Yeah, now let's talk about it. They were still messing around, and now it is clear as freaking day that there were still feelings there. You know, and like I said, everybody deals with stuff differently. So it essentially it seemed like we watching Blueface and Jaden kind of like go through a breakup. And they didn't necessarily they wasn't together like that, so it's not a breakup like that, but they were still messing around. Okay, so they have broken things off. It wasn't a breakup, it was a break off. You know what I'm saying? They didn't broke off. Them soul ties, you know. And ultimately, I think it's personally, I think it's bothering him. You know what I'm saying? He haven't been able to see Jaden and them kids. Okay, all of them. Yeah, now truth is because obviously he's so disturbed. You know, like he is such a wreck behind all of this. Just crazy. He don't even want to see them like. Well, I can't say that because you know, I just don't know. But it seems like, you know, he want to see them all three. You know what I'm saying? All three, like they're triplets or something. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he don't wanna see them. I'm trying to see. Anyway, so, child, I'm trying to listen to what my kids got going out. Anyway, though, what was I telling y'all? Oh, yo, shout out to Blueface, though. Who I guess he trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now he outside too. In the midst of his break off. See, he used to getting broke off by his baby mama. Now he ain't getting broke off. They didn't broke things off and like yeah, we watching how they be dealing with stuff in real time, so that's interesting for real, and that's exactly what they do for real. I feel like throw themselves at another bitch, right in another bitch face. Child, like he never left, and it is what it is. He seems to be trying to make the best of it. Although he's looking a little bored, station coming up a little bored. It is what it is. It was good to see him get out last night, child. So let the clips come in. But yeah, child. Shout out to them. Shout out to him. Shout out to them. Now it's like the clips, blue eyes clips, they be annoying. Yeah, now they literally will clip Nevaeh farting. I be like, bitch. Now that almost got you blocked. Okay. Now see that almost got you blocked. I ain't got time. But anyway, y'all. I'm trying to see what else is going on these internet streets. Not much. Yeah, no, truth is, that's about it. So anyway, I've been doing so much stuff. Yeah, it's just another thing I'm gonna add to the list, child. Just another thing. I need me like, not I need, but I wouldn't mind. But it is what it is. Let me manifest that too. Thank you, Lord. But anyway, y'all. And so anyway, it's your girl Charbonnet, and I came. I saw her conquer. Listen, I came to stream, and we did. It is what it is. We chasing that thing one day at a time. So shout out to that. Trying to think before I start getting on my kids' nerves. Because the minute I get off, what y'all doing? Y'all gonna look at, y'all wanna do. It is what it is, though. I'm not gonna do too much though, because truth is, that start what? They be with the shits if I'm with it. And I don't know. I really don't feel like that today. I don't feel like being a road runner. Not today. Um, Probably because I got things going on. Uh, Still, it's a lot going on this week. So, still, it's a lot of week left. So anyway, shout out to that. And shout out to y'all, Pooper Stars, for rocking with me. Everybody get on the floor. Yeah, crank this on up. Yeah, shout out to that. I appreciate y'all for letting me do my 1-2 step. I love it when I 1-2 step. Yes, I came through. For sure. And let me say this one thing before I go. Yeah, nah, truth is, while we talking about the circus, let me say this one thing before I go. Shout out to Jaden, okay? Because Jaden, I like the way Jaden puts it on. Um, yeah, nah, truth is, shout out to Jaden. Because, like I said, y'all know I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, and I be paying attention to stuff, and sometimes, I just be like, like, I don't know. It's just like a lot of California girls, oh, well, not a lot, I can't say a lot, but some, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, the way they dress, I be like, you know what I'm saying? Like biting a lemon. I'm like, oh, what the hell you put that? And it's crazy too because like they could have some cute shit on, but they just probably overdid it, or sometimes it's not cute, or sometimes it could be something ugly on with a cute coat. Like I can't explain it. But truth is, it's a couple of them. Okay, that's why I had to rephrase it. Okay, it is what it is. I had to rephrase it. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of them that like I feel like don't really know. I don't like. I just wouldn't wear the shit they wear. Person. Period. Okay. Long story short. And so it's like I've kind of picked up on that, if that makes sense. And so I've kind of like equated it with a California thing. Okay, my bad. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Now I will say this, okay? Can I say this though? I do follow a couple of California dolls. Shout out to them. They know who they are. And they be cute. Now they be cute. Now hold on. But it depends on no. Wait. Hold on. They be cute, but they still don't necessarily like dress the way I would, you know. But don't get me wrong. They be cute though. You know what I'm saying? They do. They be wearing like cute pieces. But again, sometimes it's just something that's off. But I will say they definitely the two people that I'm thinking of right now, I rock with their clothes. I could wear their clothes if that makes sense. See the other people I was talking about, man, they be just having too much going on. Yeah, no, truth is. And it's hard for me not to call out names because y'all know I will. Truth is. What? We talking about it. Let's talk about it. But I don't really feel like doing it today. So shout out to that. But yeah, like it just is what it is. A lot of California women, I just feel like now, honestly, I feel like you know what it gives me for real, y'all. It gives me dress up vibes. You know, like when you a little girl, and you got your little heels, and then you might have the big jewels, and then you might have the big necklace. But then you might take it overboard. You might put some big feathers on. And then here you come with a nice little dress. And then before you know it, you did put a robe on. And then now you got sunglasses. Oh, and then hold on, you didn't found out you got some beads to match. You're throwing them on too. Like that's the vibes that some of the California women, what I'm saying, give me. It's just like they just did. You did too much. Go take some of the shit off. Now I rock with that. I rock with that. But what happened? At one point, at some point, things took a turn. Truth is, but not that Jaden be cute. I like the way Jaden dress. Now, not each and every time. Sometimes it's a hit and miss. Some things are a hit and miss for me, but for the most part, I like the way Jaden um 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 puts herself together. Yeah, now truth is Jaden be looking cute, okay? And it is what it is. I cannot say that for a lot of California women. So it is what it is. Shout out to Jaden Alexis because she, you know what I'm saying, be putting it on for you California girls. So I will say this, don't let her run into somebody like a stylist and uh, somebody that could just help her elevate that and some money. Oh yeah, it'll really be over. Cause I'm telling you now, if Jada Leslie had some money, she'll probably really even be dressing even cuter, you know. But for the most part, Jaden be cute. So when I was watching Blueface, right? Clown. Well, he wasn't clowning Nevaeh. He was just telling Nevaeh that, like, take that hat off. Basically, he just said, I want to see you with your hair. I'd rather see you with hair versus a hat. He was telling her he didn't like that she wore a hat outside. I was listening to him say that, though, I was like, yeah, because Jaden be put together. Okay, it is what it is. So, like, I'm just saying, if we're going off what he's used to, in a sense, you're going to have to come on with it. Because, like people said, he didn't mind Christian looking crazy, but even Christian know how to put herself together, too. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that Nevaeh don't, but I'm just saying, Jada Alexis be cute, okay? It is what it is. Shout out to her, shout out to her. She be ahead of all these girls. Now, do I like everything that Jada wear? Nah, not really. Not everything. She kind of lose me sometimes when she wear out a bikini top. She like the bikini top stuff. But, no, but other than that, when she, sometimes every now and then she'll put a real cute outfit on, and it just is what it is. You know, some of you California girls can take a couple of tips. Okay, it just is what it is, child. So shout out to that. Like I'm not, you know, it is. I don't think I'm just, you know. I don't think I'm best dressed, you know, no shit like that. But I definitely think that I have style. You know, does that make sense? Because some people, you know, not everyone does. You know, so I can appreciate, okay, a good sense of style. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause dress that good to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now the truth is, it is what it is. But again, I definitely think it's a California type of thing. Does that make sense? I do. Like some of the stuff he be putting on, I be like, now, how in the? But you know, I just think that I think it's like where you're from. You know, it is what it is because you know, Blueface is probably the type of person that would come to where I live and be like, you know, just have a shopping cart full of shoes or something. You know, he might not necessarily dig the clothes like that because he's used to what he's used to, you know. It is what it is. But like, yeah, they dress differently. So even she be out dressing his ass. Oh, it sure is. Um, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to give Jaden a shout out before I got up out of here. Shout out to that. Tell her to keep doing her thing. I know that's right. Man, hold on. I wonder if I put my stuff on the charger because I can try to see what's going on in these internet streets before I get up out of here. Hit the down. And yeah, again, let me send another shout out to Jaden and Lacey. And I want to just say, you know, keep your head up. It can't rain forever. Period. So shout out to that. It will not, you know. All right. So it is what it is. You know, shout out to Jaden because apparently she been ready to make that move now, you know. And shout out to her for finally having the courage because let me say this about Jaden too. You know, she was dropping hints with Blueface. You know, she kind of was. She was trying to let it like she was trying to like, you know, like basically solidify her, you know, position in his life a little bit. She was like, yeah, kind of like quit letting. She remember that's when she was calling our girl baby mama number 3. Like, quit letting her play with me. Remember? Y'all remember that? You know, and Blueface, he didn't really take heed to that. You know, it is what it is. He didn't know how to, like, hey, everybody got a role. Play your position and don't do too much. He didn't know how to do that. So that's how he lost Jaden, if you ask me. She moved around. She was like, oh, okay. So you in a full blown relationship? Bet. Jaden said, bet, child, and took it to Vegas. I said, It is what it is. Shout out to her. Shout out to that. She took a gamble. Um, I think Jaden took a gamble when it comes to her and that guy. Now, the only thing that I do agree with Blueface on is, Jaden took a hell of a gamble, to me. Like Blueface was basically saying that, like, you kind of like start tripping with me and like really started like feeling yourself messing with this new guy, you know? But you didn't even know him like that. You don't even know him like that, Or that Blueface now. You know what I'm saying? In Blueface eyes, he looking at it like, you barely know him. You switched up on me for somebody that you barely know. It was that easy. Get on. That's what it seemed like he on. Um, and I kind of agree with him a little bit on that. Now, I do think that Jaden was playing a part, you know what I'm saying, with Kai a little bit. Almost like Dej Loaf and, what's his name? Jacquees was doing. You know how people do? Sometimes people drop projects together and people really be wondering if they really messing around. You know what I'm saying? Because they really, had to create some type of chemistry and, all of that. So I definitely think that was good on Jaden's part. I just think that they took it too far, you know? I think things might have went too far on Jaden's end. When Blueface started tripping with her behind messing with Kyle, whatever, and he started beefing with Kyle, she should have stayed out of it and said nothing. Just been a lady and said cute, stay cute. Like I'm working. Why are you getting in the midst of me working? I'm streaming now and I'm doing music. What's the problem? Jaden started tripping a little bit though. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, truth is, she did. She she tripped out a little bit. Damn. Hold on, y'all. I think she tripped out. She started tripping with Blueface, getting real ugly with Blueface, real disrespectful, real nasty with Blueface, and you know, then all of a sudden, here come that video. Now that video dropping in the midst of all of that is wild, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. Hit the like button, for real. Um, it kind of made me think about what Blueface brother said that they mama be stirring up stuff and keeping a lot of drama and stuff going because honestly, even Carlissa didn't really like Jaden over there with Kai. I mean, she act like she wasn't tripping at first, But then she started speaking on it. She started giving her opinion. She started talking exactly how I'm talking right now. Basically saying that Jaden shouldn't be tripping with Blueface and arguing with Blueface and all of that with this newbie. She was saying the same exact stuff I'm saying. But the video and the timing, baby, that was interesting. Baby, it was interesting because, hold on, y'all. My mouth dry. Um, I'm telling y'all, hold on. Oh, yeah. No, listen to this. See, y'all know Jaden, I mean, Carlissa and Jaden was doing they dating game too. I mean, remember they was doing a dating show, and Carlissa had mentioned that too. It was like she was like, "Come on, let's get back to, that." So, I'm not saying that Carlissa was the one who got something to do with the tape, but what I am saying is, if you listen to what her son been saying lately, she is definitely a candidate. And then you got Blueface brother saying all this stuff he been saying about Carlissa, like she stole from Blueface. Stole some of his money when he was in jail. Allegedly, according to Blueface brother. There gotta be a lot for him. And we ain't seen Carlissa around no more. Not since Drake been talking. You make you wonder. Make you wonder, baby. It just is what it is. Y'all hit the damn light. It's your girl Sharonay. And I came, I saw I conquered. Now I'm about to get up out of here though. I'm about to see what else is going on. In these internet streets and real life. So shout out to that. The summertime. It's coming to a head quickly. And I'm kind of sad. Yeah, now truth is the minute Hell, I just got used to the kids being home last week. And the minute you get used to something, here come the old switcheroo, child. We ain't got long before school start up. Now who was that? Who was that? Y'all hit the like button. Who was that said, I do not have time to commit to your schedule? I cannot think who said that. They ate with that though. That child is a lot. I just didn't got used to my own, you know. And so here come this madness that I'm gonna be thrown back in, child. Ugh. I can't wait for everybody to get their graduation caps. Yeah. Truth is. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the ride though, baby. Let me finish enjoying the summertime. I keep trying to figure out if I wanna go back to the pool or no. I do not know. That's to be determined because it show other things to do. So shout out to that. But yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all scoot up. Hit the damn light. And I'll see y'all in my next folder. Yeah, my folder. Yes, my folder. Or in my